Inshallah and Ashe. As always, blessings to you, my energetic beings, and welcome back to the Musing Moon Meditation. And I'm sure you already know that this isn't just your average walk in the park full moon. This is the kickoff of a series of energetic ebb and flowing in these eclipse seasons and moons. This is a flower full moon, which reaches its full illumination at 1:36 p.m. Eastern, 12:36 p.m. Central, almost said Pacific, 11:36 Mountain, 10:36 a.m. Pacific. And yes, that is Sir Didymus barking in the background. But go ahead and check your timeline for when she apexes for you. Go outside, see for yourself the brightness, the fullness of this flowered full moon. That's where she gets her name, with the abundance of flowers that birth during the season. Of course, April showers do bring May flowers, or at least we hope and wish they do. That's just one of the moon's names. There's also budding, planting. You get the idea. But she's arriving at the 14th degree and eclipsed. So we are being excelled into the limelight, bridging the gap, bringing in the foundation of Scorpio, the transformation of Hades, possibly, the death and the rebirth of something that we actually may have already felt during the Aries eclipsed new moon. So this is one kind of, it's an unveiling or maybe a revealing of something. So there's no need to fight it. Just take it all in and ask yourself, what is the highest manifestation that you could create with this energy? It really is an opportunity to create significant change in our lives. Often abrupt change. This year in the Dagara is a year of transformation, change. So we're all in it. But this eclipsed energy of the lunarities, it tends to bring information out of the blue, out of nowhere. You may feel yourself surprised, caught off guard. And lunar eclipses move us forward. It's like an energetic push, if you will. It might be like a futuring into another galaxy. Even, the cosmic highway pushing us, excelling us into new territory. Possibly taking us out of stagnant energies that are at a standstill, the old patterns. And often this moment feels disruptive of possibly the status quo, like a disruptor. Even your nervous system, you may first resist at first, the nervousness of it. And just remember, what you resist does persist. So if you tend to hold on to something or cling to these energies that are no longer serving us, serving our evolution, we will only be stung by the bee, frustrated, more misalignment energetically. So if this lunation reveals something that needs to be released in your life, it's best to choreograph this energy with the least dramatic aspect to really move on. No drama, like get into the flow, detach from the energies, emotions, even people actually, that aren't really serving our evolution. So the emotional nature of a lunar eclipse often brings the emotional breakdown as we break on through to the other side. So really hold space for yourself. Give yourself time as you process and integrate the information. Don't rush in. Kind of like fool's gold, only fools rush in on any decision. So really kind of be at that standstill. Instead, allowing the energies to settle, then take that inhale, the long exhale, and make more room for whatever is needed to really propel us forward. Often unfamiliar territory, maybe shaky ground, does feel uncomfortable, but hey, once you go through the breakdown to get on through to the other side, the breakthrough, we cross into a total new way of being, which is probably more authentic to who we are in the first place. We're in a season of authenticity in the Dagara as well. So you may even feel as if you have broken through a wall, maybe that you built between yourself and your highest of high visions of what your world wants to be percolating, the Cosmic Brew. So this really is a time to break through those barriers in whatever form they may be for each and every one of us, unique and individual, the ones that are preventing us from reaching our ultimate potential. We also, curiously enough, we've got the number 5 everywhere. It's the 5th month on the 5th day, the 5th degree. 1 + 4 = 5. Saturn's at the 5th degree as well. So we got a lot of 5s happening. The magic of number 5. So just knowing that, being mindful of where we belong, where does our heart belong? And what does our mind think about it? And just kind of, go through some different understandings of what that feels like. So the energy of Pluto being at the 0 degree, that really is creating sacred space, a foundation, innovating where we belong. Seriously. So we're kind of feeling that already, innovation of where does my heart belong being innovated? What do I belong serving? And what does my mind have to say about it? What do I understand about all of this? What's really happening? Sometimes I do feel like I am crazy myself, like I'm innovating and things are being illuminated. The universe literally is moving me. And I'm telling you, if I'm being moved, I'm probably galactically sure you are being moved as well. But Scorpio is an energy. It's a heavy energy. These are our deeper emotions. Myself, I've got a Scorpio moon anyway. So this is our past, things that are hidden deep within the shadows that are bubbling up to the surface. Maybe it's some challenging information, secrets get revealed. Maybe you find yourself feeling raw, exposed, that vulnerability. So really treating these energies as something to kind of play with is not something that we would organically considered. But all of this 5 energy seems to kind of point us in that direction. So with the Scorpio lunar eclipse, this may stir some deeper emotions, bringing endings so we could return to kind of like our center, returning back to creativity, play, ideas, maybe a new attitude in the stillness of the shadows. And Mercury is retrograde. So, just saying, our mind's off on holiday as it is. So, the power to treat everything like a game, Mercury, optimistic, venue, those kinds of things. So just kind of play and do the cosmic dance through the heaviness of it and possibly go into the Shaman's Portal, unlock the imaginal realm, the mystic and the magical. Be more curious. Have that player of life approach. Are you playing on the stage, or what game are you playing? What aspect of the playing field are you playing? Are you the catcher? Are you the hitter? Are you the umpire, or are you on the sidelines watching the game? What part of life are you playing? So don't take it so serious or heavy. Sometimes there's heaviness, what's in the darkness, right? The shadows of the darkness. And just allowing ourselves and our hearts and minds to kind of venture into places behind the veil, into the ghost of the darkness and whatever that looks like for each and every one of us. And again, Uranus, the great awakener, innovating and change, transformation. It's going to be shaking the rug. Things that lie hidden, assisting us in this transformation. It's showing us what's going to be unstable and what needs change, what needs the transformation. So it's really about expecting the unexpected, all the events, and as they unfold beyond the caterpillar to the butterfly, it's also likely to be those unexpected endings. I know myself that already started for me. But it really is a powerful time, a powerful energy to release things that we really no longer need to hold on to. They've served their purpose, and we tend to naturally bring closure to events, sometimes removing things out of our way, our pathway, that we didn't even realize that we're actually blocking our flow, water. So, if something does end under this eclipse, this energy or a past event arises for review, just trust the timing, take your space, be in sacred space, and see if you can approach the situation with that childlike wonder and curiosity, and just navigating your fields and play with it, take notice, and really just allow whatever comes to come and whatever needs to go, just allow it to let go and surrender to the timing of your life, so we can find the freedom to trust and have hope and go out on an adventure. It's time to really bring in some play into our life and finding the freedom within ourselves, this innovative freedom that we absolutely 100% deserve, and maybe reflect on the past. As a reflector, I do reflect. So really going with the flow, don't be in a hurry. And with that, let's go through each of the signs and give a little insight for where this is happening for you. Absolutely. So Scorpio, I want to start with you. This is activating your first house of who you are, how you are seen. It may feel a little overwhelming. You're being seen. You're on the stage, whether it's emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. So just kind of tune in and honor whatever is flowing, coming up for you. Be mindful of yourself. Be mindful of Like, do I belong here? What does your heart have to say? And feel into that. And do I belong feeling this way, being seen this way? The way you treat yourself is the way the world treats you. So maybe it's time that you stopped treating yourself on a lower frequency and elevating and creating a self-fulfilling prophecy with using your voice. That's kind of the affirmation. Choose your own affirmation, shifting your attitude. So Uranus opposing this, possibly, that is the significant changer, especially for you in the stage of relationships, the platform of relationships. So something there may be suddenly unexpected. So, you might not be the biggest fan of big shifts. It could very much be on that horizon right now, especially, how are you expressing your needs or experiencing partnerships in general? Kind of curious there. Sagittarius, this is all happening in your 12th house. It's a game-changing eclipse for you with the 12th house of completions, endings. It wants you to celebrate an important passage in your life. Be proud of the threshold that you've actually crossed, celebrating with friends, helpful guides, guardians of your galaxy. All of that may come out of the woodwork. Another door opening, helping you circumvent any barriers to success. Even though you could feel a little overwhelmed by it all, surrender to the growth, the opportunities that are like bubbling up like springs over the next few weeks. You'll figure out how to handle it, just like you always do. And again, be mindful of where you belong, thinking in the other world. What doors are you opening? And what doors are you closing? You might be closing down like how you work. Maybe you're getting a new employer. Capricorn, you're going to be asking yourself, where do I heartfelt belong? And what do I think about it? So this year's only lunar eclipse charges up your 11th house of collaborations, society, humanity, bringing all sorts of insights about who deserves inner circle status with you and who does not. Who's no longer serving you? What belongs and what doesn't belong? So it's possible that you've been casually interacting, possibly with a group of people since the eclipse that happened October 2022, 25th of October. So starting May 5th, your role within the collective may become crystal clear. Perhaps you take on a leadership role, and at the very least, you become a card-carrying member, devoting yourself wholeheartedly to this mission, to this expression. Possibly, maybe you still haven't found your kindred spirits, so just open things up. This could bring a meant-to-be meeting of the minds over the next few weeks. So just keep your heart open and pay attention to what no longer belongs in your village. Aquarius, your career house is being spotlighted. So this could bring unexpected openings for growth, a grand goal, maybe something you've been pursuing since the solar eclipse, October 25th, 2022. This might be like the benchmark, the milestone. So maybe it's a strategic promotion. You don't need to be everywhere and every when. You just need to be right in front of the right people at the right time. And, eclipses tend to reveal hidden information. So this might just lift and put that benchmark, kind of a turning point for you. Maybe you have this self-realization that it really is time to shift into a totally new direction and follow the path that the universe is lighting the way for you, instead of being stubborn and pressing forward on a course that is not yielding the results that you had actually hoped that it actually magically woulda, coulda, woulda, should have. So again, the 10th house, career, public image, this is like signaling like a noteworthy shift related to your professional trajectory, how you're seeking and receiving that recognition. So you may just decide that the track that you've been on just isn't serving your bigger picture galactic goals. Maybe you're ready to step into the spotlight, the limelight, and go after more ambitious projects, leadership, position, like being in control, just having your eye on the prize and a willingness to embrace a new way to make your mark out into the world, which then leads to a emotional fulfillment where your heart does feel like you belong and your mind's on board actually with it. Pisces, for you, it's like, should I stay or should I go now? If I stay, there may be trouble. Anyway. So with that, this might just bring a travel opportunity completely out of the blue, the galactic frontier. worth scrambling to pack and get ready and grab your passport. Maybe it's a long-distance connection that's been percolating on the Cosmic Brew, that outdoor fire pit, since October, which then reaches its breakthrough point, a pivotal moment. Something's got to give here. Something that might just mean for you to give up hope if you can't figure out the logistics of seeing each other face to face, or even more often. And on the opposing forces, maybe it's a powerful partnership that emerges with someone in another part of the world. So thank the goddess of the night for that little thing called the internet. Just be, again, mindful of, does it serve the heart, and what does your mind have to say about it? Hopefully it's optimistic. Aries, for you, letting go can be so liberating. And this message here is happening in your 8th house of transformation, change, all things. And it's really assisting you to do just that. So maybe there's a financial obligation that's directing you away from the profit zone, possibly down into debt. So it's time to kind of disentangle the web, disentangle yourself. And on the opposing side, the forces of adversity, maybe there's this investment energy that could flow in for one of your genius ideas, your brilliant mind. Somebody could actually step forward and put money behind your dreams, dollar bills floating. Just make sure that you retain the majority of that ownership. And on a side note, this may even bring sexy back. It is your 8th house in a very major way. Maybe a relationship hits that milestone moment where the rubber meets the road, the engine revs up, if you know what I'm saying. So you might just put a ring on it, blast off, or just set yourself free from a bad romance. So again, it's the topsy-turvette. Expect the unexpected, but either way, be mindful if your heart belongs in this space, or maybe it doesn't belong. Is it serving the purpose? Taurus, this is the ballpark for you. You've been going through eclipse seasons and series for the last few years, so chances are you're already really familiar with what you need to do to really tackle this emotionally right now. However, you know it likely has to do with your sense of self and partnerships. Maybe you're in the midst of trying to reconcile your personal brand, your drive, your needs with a partner, a collaborator, maybe a significant other, even a colleague, somebody that you work with. Maybe you need to have a compromise where more than ever before, when it comes to moving the ball forward, it's something that's necessary within the most cherished one-on-one bonds, especially in business. I find that you kind of need that more than others, possibly. But it's should this stay or should it go? And it might be in business, a decision needs to be made. Maybe you become a formal dual in a couple. Maybe you go your separate ways. Maybe just kind of feel into it. And if you're single, this may just reveal a shockingly unexpected, but actually kind of perfect kind of memoir. Maybe you find your perfect candidate. And things can develop faster under the light of an eclipse. Just don't get hung up on knowing exactly what you want, how it's supposed to flow. Expect the unexpected, especially if you're willing to be open. The universe may just open that door and deliver something, the best package ever, better than you ever imagined or even pictured. Gemini, for you, old habits die hard, but it's absolutely time to stick a fork in the one that's not working. And this year's only lunar full moon eclipse in the season of Scorpio, your house of healthy living, assists you to face down a toxic vice for good. Still refusing to budge? Don't provoke a mini crisis in your life by ignoring the problem. Your stage is on transformation, and I know because I'm in it. Your work is also governed by this eclipse, so a project that you've been laboring away on since the solar eclipse in the season of Scorpio 2022, October, that could actually hit the high note, bringing in a fresh wave of prosperity your way. And galactically knowing juicy, you've been waiting for it, moving forward. So maybe you're ready to change jobs or try for a new position at your current gig. Keep your antennas up and open for opportunity over the next few weeks. Cancer, the sparks could erupt. The fireworks could go. So this is happening again in Scorpio, and you are a water sign too. So this is all setting off a climactic revenue, if you will. Not really a revenue, maybe a rendezvous in your 5th house of true romance. At last, somebody worthy of your precious heart could be revealed like a package at your front door. Maybe you'll get clarity around those next steps with the person you've already given into your heart. And with so much fertile energy afoot, you might just catch a case of what? Baby fever? Get to work on your creative brain, possibly. Maybe have you been caught in a bad romance? So either way, this eclipse is handing us the keys to those self-imposed shackles, commanding us to break free with the extreme energy of this. Forget about trying to be friends with anybody who torments your heart, pulls at your strings. Moving on truly means cutting ties, especially while your heart is healing. Just be mindful of what does and doesn't belong, especially in your romantic corridor and your creative aspects. Leo, this magnetic eclipse is falling in your 4th house of home, your emotional foundation. This is where you could have that spur of a moment, literally, to reflect on how far you've actually come with healing wounds related to your family, your roots, your emotional foundation, your home life. Maybe it's a theme that you've been exploring for a while now. So go back again to October 25th, 2022, and maybe get a sense of the themes that you've been dealing with once more, reflecting. Maybe you get this magnetic moment that's really electrifying a situation that's been involved with loved ones, your home life, something that's rocking your sense of security, but the path back to feeling fully centered, emotionally grounded, encouraging you to open yourself up to a new narrative and allowing the past to be let go even more fully in the fullness. Maybe you do a ritual around that as well. Virgo, for you, what's happening in your neighborhood? This is playing out in your 3rd house of the neighborhood, sibling rivalries and all that kind of stuff. So this is electrifying your 3rd house. What's happening in the neighborhood? Literally, maybe something that's hidden reveals itself, opportunities that have been sitting right under your nose. So really take a moment and read your community, pay attention to the blogs, get into the dialogue and the analog bulletin boards at your neighborhood coffee shop even. Maybe you could spy with your little eye a very opening that you've been waiting for. Maybe you're looking for a platonic partnership that's been percolating and brewing since the corresponding solar eclipse that happened in Scorpio season, October 25th, 2022. Maybe you've hit your pivotal moment at the moment, literally right now. I'm thinking of the benchmark moment. So it's time to make that joint venture official. Get the creative brain trust in gear. Get in the flow. And again, just be mindful of where your heart belongs within the village, the community. You know, what lights up your heart? What sparks your desire? What belongs and what's no longer serving you? Libra. This is like the luxury loving Libra, the artistry. Have you been overdoing it on high-end purchases? Maybe you've been overspending. Maybe that's going to be catching up with you, forcing you to lock your wallet or I was thinking of your safe, losing the key. Maybe there's some extreme budgeting that needs to happen for you over the next few weeks so you can have that bounce back. Maybe you roll up your sleeves and tighten your belt. All those things are actually good for you, because you're kind of a money magnet, and so you've got this brilliant energy is all happening in your 2nd house. And this is going to reveal the shadows, the hidden sources of revenue that maybe could crop up out of the blue. Maybe, this could span the range from your 9 to 5 to a steady client who fills your coffers on a regular basis, and you get the cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching of your cash drawer. So again, make sure it belongs and it resonates with your heart, and be mindful of that offer is what I'm saying. Be mindful of it, especially with Mercury retrograde. So with this eclipse happening in the season of Scorpio, the Shamans Portal, but also at the degree of our Solar Plexus, the 5, I'm kind of feeling of going into our shadow records possibly and doing a musing meditation. I was actually just the guest artist on the 10 Days of Remembering, or the 10 Days of Remembering Challenge with Juliana Whitlow, and we literally did go into the Akashic and the shadow records. So I was kind of feeling that kind of a meditation, but we'll just go through the Shaman's Portal into the Solar Plexus and then release out the Shaman's Portal and going into the imaginal, the mystical, and just asking Spirit if what belongs and what no longer belongs. Having a greater understanding of those thought thought-provoking affirmations. So with that, climb into your embodiment, be embodied. I always like to do a count of 3 on the inhale, hold for a count of 3, and then exhale, just becoming centered, grounded into the elemental energy that resides within you, the one that your body is called to navigate, which does bring me to the Rising of the Origins. My free live 5-day immersion is actually starting June 1st. Maybe mark your calendar for that, where I dive into each of the elementals, and sometimes I prescribe them as ritual during a cowrie shell divination. But either way, climb into the center and the center of your highest heart, your God spot, calling in the element that your energy body needs along with your physical body. And as you become centered and grounded, embodied in your pure essence of who you are authentically, as we go through this transformation, inhale through the Shaman's Portal, a little pinhole like a vinyl record from the old days, or the olden days that are reviving, through the Shaman's Portal. And as you enter into and through the Shaman's Portal, navigating all the way down into the Earth Star and holding for a count of 3, creating your own sacred space of your own personal embodiment. Hold for a count of 3. Once you get there, exhale and release all the way back up and out the Shaman's Portal. So we're just going to be ping-ponging all the way down through the Shaman's Portal into the Earth Star. Inhale through the Shaman's Portal all the way down to the Earth Star. And imagine in your mind's eye a new understanding of how to love yourself in this embodiment, in this timeline, in this lifetime. And as you exhale and release, do a little swirl on the inner wheels of your solar plexus. As you bring in the solar plexus wheels and it's spinning, and then exhale, release out the Shaman's Portal. Inhale through the Shaman's Portal all the way down to the Earth Star. And as you exhale and release, validate and have an understanding of what emotional feelings are serving you, and an awareness of the emotions that are not serving you. And either way, validate them, have an understanding for them, possibly sit with them, acknowledge them. And when you're ready, exhale and release. Inhale through the Shaman's Portal all the way down to the Earth Star. A new belief that is manifesting and choreographing within you. Your own personal belief, not the limitations and the beliefs that society or our ancestors or parents have placed upon us. Your own personal belief. And as you exhale and release, have a new understanding about how this belief is going to be manifesting in your day-to-day world, and have an understanding about how this belief is going to be elevating your entire being, your essence that resides within you. Exhale and release. Inhale through the Shaman's Portal all the way down to the Earth Star. Taking a breath and a pause. Hold for a count of 3, and as you start to exhale, stopping at the solar plexus, and come to an understanding, being mindful of what you are law of attracting and the words you use in the attraction. What are the thoughts? What are the feelings? Get a visualization in the imaginal realm, which is part of the Shaman's Portal. And it's time to imagine differently, visualize uniquely, unfamiliarly, unconditioned. And as you exhale, the final exhale out the Shaman's Portal, releasing those visions and attractions that are no longer resonating or belonging in your law of attraction. Shifting the frequency, energy, vibration of your thoughts to be self-loving and producing, manifesting the life you're meant to live on that final release. Inhale through the Shaman's Portal all the way down to the Earth Star. And as you come up from the Earth Star, you are producing and manifesting life-affirming, positive, optimistic, new insight, understanding, choreographing words that are unique and individual as you are. Affirming and creating your own personal affirmation of the abundant being that resides within you. Affirm it, and so it is, and so it will be. Ashe, blessings.